Alrighty, we are live. What's going on, everybody? We are live and alive. Hopefully you can hear me, you can see what I'm seeing. I'm gonna spend a few minutes here and then we're gonna take a walk on the wild side. We're going to have a little conversation today about one of the things that will keep you in check here if you're smart enough to implement it and if you have a little bit of control, which I think most guys do. This is a man thing. I think most men have the capability, but they don't always do it. But we'll get into that, and I got a couple stories. I'm not sure of which way I'm going to go right at the moment. There's two different ways I can go. I can cross the street, but I don't think I want to do that. I think we're going to go walk down a little ways, and then I'll get started. It's going to take me about 20 minutes to get to the mall where I'm going, and then I'll be able to sit down and relax and talk over everything. But basically, that's what we're going to talk about today, is some of the problems that men have when they come here. And good morning, Mr. Mitch. And, you know, I think you hear about the bad and you never hear about the good. But that's neither here nor there, because I came across a guy the other day who had kind of a sad situation. And then I just happened to be looking around for some emails. This was yesterday. And I found an old email from a guy, and I started checking up on the guy. I hadn't heard from him in a while. And I'll get into his situation as well. I don't know why they put this up, what this thing's supposed to do. If it's just an ornament or whatever. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, John. How you going? So, we are in Bangkok right now. We're actually not that far from my house. And you can see they've torn down straight ahead. If you look, they've torn down the expressway, the overpass. It's not really the expressway, it's the overpass. Dr. Dre, what's happening? What'd it be like? So if you look up here, you can see I don't know how they did it. I didn't see when it was being done, but they basically just took down the freeway. I'm still not sure what they're going to be doing here. How they're going to be doing it. All right, Dre. Oh shit. All right, so, you know, while I'm right here, I'm going to give a big shout out to all the people who support the channel, and I mean support as in financially. I'm going to go through them real quick, if I can. Dowlo, Puya, Carnival Chronicles, CJ, Digital Life, Andy in Vietnam, Mr. Andy, Vixter, Beeson, Mr. Mitch, TKO Sam, John S, Carlos, David, Steven, Fire Dude, John From, Ryan M, Patrick Troy, JRD 8526, Richard Gallagher, where is he? Haven't heard from Richard in a long time. Raymond Suwon, S. Carroll, Patty Bob, Mr. Allen, Tim Mays, Johnny Siam, Mindy Corcoran, Mike Clinton, Lee Tony 7682, Henry LH, Jim Urardi, Mr. Jim, Carl Gennaro, Soy Dog, Cowboy, Dimitri, Richard, Bilal, VLK Udontani, Christopher Miller, David Jordan, Ralph Stewart, Alan Pafali, Pafafli, Mr. Michael, and Mr. Monash, wherever he is. So thank you very much, everybody. And if I missed you, I'm sorry. And, you know, that's the way it goes. All right, so I'm going to take a quick walk. I want to get this out of the way so I can sit down and get into the topic today, because I need to read, because I really wrote some things out. The stories are true, but the names have been changed, and the story's been a little bit embellished. So let's just boogie on down the road now. Hopefully the sound is very good, or at least good. No mask. 2 girls, no mask. Wow. Guy, girl, no mask. Now I could go in the market. Hello, everybody. Everyone. Stick with me for a few minutes here. Oops. For you guys that want well, let me see. I didn't see it. Wish you would have had those bananas yesterday. We are headed to my usual hangout. We could take a little walk through here. I think that's probably a good idea. And then we'll get into the subject at hand, which is relationship issues. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take me to get through the 2 stories, because, like I said, they're a little bit sad. And up on the right here is some gratam. These are gratam right here. The gratam leaves. It's always wet and slippery in the morning. Market is back to normal now. If you remember, there was a sign up that said this place is going to be closed for good because of the COVID. Obviously, that didn't happen. What do you want? Eggs, coconut, banana, corn? How are you? Sawasdee krap. Yeah. Let's go this way. I do know where I'm going. Need something to drink. There she is. Okay. So friendly. Sanuk sanan, sanit sanom, seduak sabay. I don't buy meat from here, but I do buy vegetables from here. Whew. What do you want?
ดีครับ
ก็
ขอถ่ายด้วย
โอ้
ได้นะถ่ายแล้วก็
ไม่ได้จ่าย
เออ
ไม่ได้จ่ายไม่เป็นไร
ทางเลยนะ
ก็ขวดใหญ่นะ
ฮะ
ขวดใหญ่ครับ ก็มีขวดเล็กด้วยไหม
ได้ขวดหนึงไปเจอคนหนึง
ครับโอ้ shit
อ่า
thank you all right let me put this down แป๊บหนึ่ง100 120
โอเค
โอเคแป๊บหนึ่ง
แป๊บนึงไหนคนดูเยอะไหมให้ผมดูหน่อย
แป๊บหนึ่ง
มาผมจับกล้องให้
แป๊บหนึ่ง
อ๋อเขาต้มไว้เหรอโอ้
ซื้อ
สู้
โอ้รอสักครู่
ๆมาจับ
โอเคแป๊บหนึง
ไหนอ่ะ
ร้อนมากนะ
เออ บางกะปิครับบางกะปิ
กับคุณ How do I get this thing to turn around? There we go. All right, there you go. My friend me. Can you guys still hear me? Everything all right? Drop the microphone. Whew. Jesus Christ. ฝรั่ง Oh, ฝรั่ง Hey, you. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, good. Man, it is brutally humid. Right now, it's about 74% humidity. The temperature is not that hot, but the humidity is a killer. All right, so let's get out of here. It's like a maze. Fortunately, I know the direction to go. Whew. Onward, atheist soldier. Whew, man. You know, I had planned on sitting there at that park and talking about, telling a couple of stories that I have, but it just didn't seem conducive to storytelling there. So we'll get over to the mall in a few minutes. But you know, in the meantime, we get to look around. Like I said, up ahead here on the left is the gratom leaves, which, as I said, I've made tea from. And I put a video up about that. There it is right there. Gratom. $20 for 100 grams. 20 or 30 baht, depending on what they have and what you get. What do you have? All right, so SkyTrain. And I think this part is just about done. They got to put up the sidings up top. Oi, what happened? There we go. Gennaro, thank you so much. Thank you very much. I got to tell you, you were the first person in 3 streams. This is the 3rd stream. I got shut out the last 2 streams. So thank you very much. You put me back on the scoreboard. Fuck. That's how you do it. Whew. There it is. I'm not sure how they're gonna build the 2nd level there, the walkway. I don't know exactly how they're gonna do that. I'm curious to know and to see. All right. But if you take a look, that's what we got now. And just off in the distance, you can see the station. I don't know. He just sent a TikTok. Maybe he's in the rabbit hole right now. Yes, while I have time here, let's get that out of the way. Please do me a favor, if you like the channel, you like what I'm doing, what I'm talking about, please gingerly smash the like button. And if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Hit that notification bell. Become a member of my YouTube channel. That would be great. I just put a part 1 of a study that I found in doing a little research. A study of Thai and Western marriages. It's quite good. And if you're a member, you get to hear that. I don't know how many parts it's going to be. Maybe 10, maybe 8. I'm not sure. But we're almost there. There's the mall. So you can see over here, they're doing something. Ah, the beauty of Bangkok. Whew. Today is a sweltering day. Man. Check it out. So you can see down there is the station. I don't know how they're gonna make it to where people can come right directly into the mall. I don't know. Anyway, let's see if I can navigate the stairs. Brutal. This humidity is brutal. Now, let's see if any of the old gang is working. Yes. All right. Oh, it's the duet. It's the double. Good morning, Cha. Good morning, big boss. Yes. Whew. How many years now? ก็ทำงานที่นี่ก่อนนานเท่าไหร่อ่ะกี่ปีอ่ะ4 ปี15 ปีอ่ะ2 ปีครึ่งแต่ Starbucks 6 ปี Wow. Thank you. เหรอ Last year จะไปไหนเหรอ They're gonna get their own store and sell stuff themselves. They're gonna be the big boss. You big boss ไม่มี boss ตอนนี้มี partner อะ มี partner ไหมไม่มีไม่เอาอ่ะไม่เอา partner เหรอ partner เป็นผู้หญิงเหรอเป็นครูokay just checking. Man, it is so hot out. Literally. Yes, sir, you are correct. Hey. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Okay, now let's get at it. I am drenched already, literally dripping in sweat. Hang on a second. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Ooh, man. Dripping sweat. Oh, there he is, 2/4 Asian. You got it, that's beer and preo. All right, so let me get at this here. Men absolutely must do this one thing to stay focused in Thailand. It should be more appropriately titled, men need to keep themselves out of trouble here with the women. Men, women, everything in between. That goes for all of them. And you know, I was thinking to myself, why do I have to still speak on this subject? And the reason is because people are still having problems. I get messages all the time about guys who get ripped off, guys who they don't know what to do, or just they're hurt, whatever. Aren't you funny? Maybe, you know, I find all of this whole scene here, because, you know, I'm in the middle of my own relationship. I got no problems. I'm fine. But maybe what it is that, you know, it's like, kind of like driving by a 5-person fatality on the side of the road. You can't help but look. I can't help myself when I hear these stories. I have to do something. And 30 years ago or so, when I first came here, I had never, ever experienced anything like Thailand. I knew obviously I knew a little about women, and I had a fair amount of experience, but I'd never seen what goes on here. And I'm talking about the whole game, the whole, you know, find the sugar daddy, that kind of thing. The only thing I had really seen was maybe the donkey show in Tijuana. You know, I'd seen that and I was like, man, the world is a fucked up place. But I've somehow managed to make it out of that particular era, that particular period in my life. You got two people right now. You got beer and you got preo. That's it that I see. Some guys they're just not lucky. They're not lucky in love. Straight ahead here, to the right, that is Miss Preo. To the left over here is Miss Beer. You know, thing is I've heard my share of stories. Most guys who are a little older have heard their share of stories. But I really believe some guys are just predestined to have bad relationships. I don't know what it is. There's guys, you know, I know several people, 4 or 5 marriages. I'm like, maybe you should have learned after like the 3rd time. Marriage isn't for me. You know, you end up with like 6 or 7 marriages. But anyway, I'm going to tell you 2 stories, 2 true stories, slightly embellished, as I said. And by the end of these stories, you will get what I'm talking about and why, really, when you come over here, especially if you're not living here and you're not involved every day with the person, you really need to understand how serious the consequences are. A gig is like a friend who you're banging. A mia noi is you have some business relationship where they're actually your wife. They're your second wife, your minor wife. So, like I said, I already said thank you to everybody who supported the channel, so let's just pass that right up. Men all over the world are constantly falling prey to unsavory women and vice versa. Let's not forget the women that get screwed around by guys. It does happen once in a while. The Dear John letters, the Dear Jane letters. Kind of like the wildebeest crossing the Masai Mara, getting picked off by the crocodiles. It doesn't happen all that often, but it does happen once in a while. And sometimes it just takes a little luck. It takes a little perseverance. It takes some, the stupid wildebeest go right into the mouth of the crocodile. They put themselves in that position. The smart ones, they bide their time. And some of them escape, some of them don't. Just like men, think about it. You get out of a relationship, you get out of a marriage, whatever it might be, and sometimes you make it out unscathed, sometimes you're scarred for life. Think of the woman as the crocodile or the shark. Every once in a while, the croc, that would be the woman, gets trampled by the Cape buffalo, that would be the man. But those instances are far more rare than men falling prey to women. Most of the time it goes something like this. Guy goes into a bar, has a wild night, in and out of the bedroom with his imaginary dream girl, and just like that, he's in love. He's never met anybody like her. She's different. This girl is different. She's the one. I must have her. I must possess her. She's mine. She cannot be with anyone else. I'll do whatever I have to. I'll pay her whatever she wants because I want her. And, in most cases, she's a poor girl, uneducated, probably doesn't have a whole lot in common with you. There's exceptions. But, it's the power of the triangle. It's the power of love, if you want to put it a little more politely. It doesn't take long, and the guy is telling his buddies, dude, I think I love her. How can I leave Thailand without her? I have to take her with me. No one else can have my girl. She is mine. And the truth is, it's simply your turn. She's not necessarily yours. She, on the other hand, is thinking, aha, I'll get you your cash, your credit cards, your Roth IRA, your pension, and maybe a little alimony as well. And she utters 3 magic words to tighten her death grip. I rub you. I'm not care your money. I'm not care you not handsome. I'm not care you have little ball. I'm not care you have little hot dog, same baby. I'm only want your love. And boom, that's it. That's all it takes. These guys are hooked. And, maybe it's a little bit of over-exaggeration, but that in some cases it's not. There are knuckleheads out there, chowderheads out there, who they fall for that bullshit. Anyway, let's get to the first story. Let's call him Peter. Sounds appropriate. He made one trip to Thailand and had a fabulous time, as do the majority of single, horny men on the prowl. They've been close to 5 years since his divorce was final, and he had been ready to party. He partied, drank way too much, drank too much whiskey, screwed more women than he had ever screwed in his life. And when he left, he thought, this is what life is all about. This is truly living. Thailand is, for me, it's a man's world. So he flies home with memories of little brown ladies dancing in his head, a mild chubby. And 3 months later, he had scraped together enough to buy a ticket to Thailand. Now, this is a true story. I mean, I'm using a few too many adjectives, but it is a true story. All right, and you shall see how it pans out. So he gets to Thailand. He walks straight past the baggage carousel, through the automatic doors, and all the way outside, where he is promptly greeted by your friendly taxi driver. They agree on a price, only about $25, and off they went. Now, on the way to the hotel, they were stopped at a red light, and the kindly old driver turned to him and said, "Boss, you want lady? Good massage? She give you a good time, take care good." So Peter, being the gentleman that he is, leaned forward and said, "How much?" "No expensive, no problem for you." Okay. Next thing you know, he's at the massage parlor. They're pulling up to the parking lot. Went down a couple dark alleys. He was wondering if he's really taking them to this place, but he gets there. They get out, and seconds after entering the establishment, he is brought to one large window. That would be the window to the fishbowl. That would be the fishbowl. There's about 30 women. They're all standing around, milling around, looking pretty bored. But when they see him, they put on their best phony smile. And they're all wondering, is this guy going to choose me or what? He turns to the chubby little man who brought him to the window and said, "This massage lady?" "Yes, sir, for you. You choose the number." So he looks around and he sees number 11. Lucky number 11. Number 11 was his lucky number. Their eyes lock. And he says, "I want that one." "Oh, okay, good choice. Good choice for you." She looked so sweet, he couldn't resist. She was gorgeous. Before he knew it, they were back on the massage table, and she was rubbing his shoulders. Her English was non-existent, and his Thai was limited to 4 words: Pad Thai and Sawadee Krap. And that did not matter. He didn't care. She kept looking at him, looking right through him. He couldn't take it. She sits down on the massage table next to him, swings her little brown legs over. He can't keep his eyes off of her, and all he thinks is, "Oh, I wish I could take this girl out of here and make her mine. I want to spend some time with her. She's so sexy." And all she's thinking is, "Oh, I'm thinking him have big money. Maybe him not so bad. Maybe I think he not smell bad. Not too old for me." So before the time was up, they had done the deed. They consummated their lust at first sight in what he professed to be his absolute best performance ever. According to Peter, her exact words were, "Oh my Buddha, you number you number one for me, you Superman." That's where I got that, "you Superman," from this guy. "You number one for me, you Superman." So, of course, he felt pretty good about himself. He took out one of his business cards from his wallet, and it was a business card from the hotel. He gave it to her, and he said, "You come to my room, number 301. She shook her head. He gave her 1,000 baht tip, and they walked out hand in hand. 2 lovers waiting for their next encounter. At 2:30 in the morning, his phone rang. It was the front desk. "Have lady. She wants to see you, sir." He threw on his shorts and a t-shirt and walked downstairs. She showed up, he thought. I knew she liked me. They proceed, no, it wasn't, oh, maybe she wants some more money. They proceeded to spend the next few days together, most of it in bed, culminating in a tearful goodbye at Don Mueang Airport. He went back again, returned again 2 months later. She was still working in the massage parlor, but he would put a stop to that. Him have big money. When he returned, they went to Buriram to see her family. She told him they were poor and needed money, that his family would think more highly of him if he gave them some money. Perhaps 20,000 baht would be enough. It would confirm his love not only for her, her name was Bam, but also her families. So he's showing he loves her, but he loves the family. He understands this is Thailand. You have to take care of family. I need to put these on. He gave them the money, took them to dinner, along with a dozen or so of their friends from the village. Before they left to return to Bangkok, the two of them told the parents they would both be going to the United States. Bam said she would stay for a month, but this was a lie. She wanted to stay longer, much longer. She conveniently already had her passport. Apparently she had went on some sort of tour, a massage tour. And she even had a visa to the United States. She was absolutely perfect. What a stroke of luck. Things are looking up. They flew back to the States and settled back home in his home in Catoosa, Oklahoma. Life, I don't know where Catoosa is. Life proceeded as it does, and for a couple of years, everything seemed fine. She was a great cook. She was perfect. She always loved him long time. As the years passed, he helped her family back in Buriram, sending him $500 to $600 every month, and the pair of them would go back to Thailand every so often. Her job was to be a homemaker, a cook, a cleaner, a house cleaner, to run errands for him, to take care of his physical needs, and to make sure, basically, that he was well taken care of. Then she started to visit the local temple. Slowly but surely, she visited the temple more often. Now, this is not meant to be a slam on religion, especially Buddhism, but it is a fact that he relayed to me. He said, she's going to the temple an awful lot. She doesn't have any time for me. As she became more religious, the frequency of their sexual activity dwindled, almost into non-existence. What can I do, he asked. And I said, tell her McLovin needs a little action. Make sure she knows it. You must have that action. She explained that there was nobody else, but something about procreation being the only reason for having sex. Unfortunately, she did not wish to have children. And then his life got much worse. And this is where it gets serious. He fell ill with cancer. He got cancer. Real shit. And then he lost his job. She started working more hours. She was a masseuse. She started working more hours so that they could make ends meet. And he became too weak to have sex. Her cooking stopped, and she no longer slept in the same bed with him. The house cleaning stopped. He hated seeing the place filthy, so he cleaned until he ran out of energy. But it wasn't enough, and he barely saw her. He thought she might be cheating on him, but she continually informed him that he was incorrect. She was not cheating on him. She was far too distant and nothing like she was when he first met her. Finally, his questions and updates to me stopped. Another year passed until one day, while I was looking for an email, I saw one of his old emails. I looked him up. The first thing I saw confirmed my suspicion. He is survived by his brother William and mother Gert. The cancer got him. I am left wondering if his wife had been good to him in his last dying days. And that was the end. The poor guy died wondering if his wife, the woman he loved with all his heart, truly loved him, or he was only a way out for her. Catoosa, Oklahoma wasn't much of a step above her little village, but she got what she wanted. She was living in America. And what's more, she knew she'd be all right. She was an oddity in Oklahoma, and there was always a shortage of single women. She'd find a new guy, maybe a better guy, or she'd take what she had and go back to Thailand. Now, things like this happen, and I suspect more often than not, but this really did happen. And I make light of it now, but the truth is, he was beside himself. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to handle her. And what are you gonna do? She's like, no, I gotta go to the temple. And he's like, no, you gotta spend time with me. No, I gotta go to the temple, and I gotta go to work. And she didn't have time for him. She didn't have time to have sex with him. She didn't have time to talk to him. She didn't have time for anything. And as a man, you're obligated to say, hey, this ain't working, honey. We gotta do something here. So in my eyes, she didn't care as much about him as he may have thought. Who knows why? But Thai women are fickle. Who knows why? Who knows what the reason was? But I feel bad for the guy because, he hit me up and he was like, he would tell me, he said that he was on medication. Apparently he had a bad heart as well. And he was on medication. He would say, even if I wanted to have sex, he got to the point where he was like, even if I wanted to, I couldn't because the medicine makes me have absolutely no dick. He couldn't screw her if he wanted to. And what do you tell somebody? Keep your dick up, keep your chin up. I mean, I didn't know what to say to him. It was that was sad. And then, looking back, I kind of figured the guy might have passed away, but I wasn't sure. And I don't always keep up on everybody, but it was true. So anyway, the one thing I would say is that he got involved with this girl and he really didn't think things out. I mean, had he removed some of his emotion, oh my God, she's perfect. No, nobody's perfect. She will show her flaws eventually. She's not perfect. Obviously. If you look at things from the outside instead of being on the inside, it becomes much easier for you to see clearly. If you listen to your friends around you when you say, doesn't seem like she has the right motivations. If your friends are not chowderheads, if your friends know a little bit about how things work here, if your friends have your best interest at heart, I'm not talking about some associate you just met or something like that, or somebody who truly doesn't give a shit. I'm talking about somebody who actually cares about you, then maybe you need to listen to what they say. And I don't think he did that. Because I think something else that came from it was that he lost a lot of his friends because, when you start having a woman and you're staying with her all the time, something's got to give, and usually that means spending as much time with your buddies. So, every choice we have, every choice that we make has consequences, and sometimes these consequences last forever, sometimes they last until death do you part. So it pays to remember this when it comes to relationships. There are consequences Maybe this is part of the universe. You take a step to the right and the universe shifts in the way to accommodate that step. You move to the left and it's going to move to another, it's going to shift to another direction. But every action has a reaction. Every choice has a consequence. Think of it like this. And I've used this analogy before. Think of your big honey as a fisherman or fisherwoman, whatever. She puts the bait on the hook, she casts the line, and she waits for the big fish to bite. That's you, the big fish. You're the prey. You see the bait, and you decide, I'm going for it. Maybe you get lucky and the hook slips out, maybe not. Or maybe you get thrown back into the ocean for not being a big enough fish. It takes a lot to snag the truly big fish because big fish don't get big being stupid. So guys who are true players don't usually get stung, and if they do, it's a little minor sting. They just go on with life. Lesser fish end up in the frying pan. They get snagged. And you know, I used to say something all the time, and some of you, I'm sure, remember it, probably are sick of it, but that is the golden rule. Number one golden rule. Do not get emotionally involved with a prostitute or a working girl. And I modified this. Siblings, family dog. I modified this. If you are inexperienced with women in general, and you have a very low standard, a low understanding of Thai culture, you know, it's just best you use them for what they're for. If that's the kind of woman you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a straight up woman who's got a job, she's not doing anything, like there's no hanky-panky involved, she's not running around on you, she's not banging guys for money, something like that. You still need to give it time. Because it's hard enough just having a relationship. Then you're having a relationship with somebody who doesn't speak the same language with you as you. You may not speak her language. You don't know about the culture. You're a new guy. This is why I always tell guys, and they never listen. They can't help themselves. She's different. I love her. And she speaks English. Yeah. She speaks, you know, like, okay, I'm go now. I always say don't get involved until you can speak some Thai, until you've been here for at least a year, until you've gotten to know the girl. But I swear probably 90% of the people don't listen, and then they bitch and moan later on. And I'm like, some nam na. You get what you deserve. All right. So, here we go. Round two. Thomas, we'll call him Thomas. What is this, Gennaro? Money, food, sleep, parents, siblings, ex-boyfriend, father of her children. Well, you don't get involved with one of those, well, unless you're an old fart, and then you really probably have no choice. But if you can help it, you don't get involved with one of those. Here's another thing. If you can help it, I know as being an older man, and I'm saying older, that is 40 to 50 year old women. Let's say you're 60 and you hook up with some chick. She looks great. Hey, she looks good for 40. But guess what? She got 2 kids. You really want that? She better have that situation squared away. She better have the situation with the ex-husband or ex-boyfriend squared away. Because what do you need that shit in your life for? What are you coming here for? To get involved and have a hassle with some Thai guy that you barely know? You don't need that shit. And what do you think? You think her kids are going to love you right away? They're going to be like, who's this foreigner coming into my life? Now, I do know one guy who, he met his girl when the kids were very young, like 2 years old. and he raised them, and they love him. I don't think they even remember their father because he hasn't been around. So, not always, but anyway, Thomas saw me sitting in Starbucks and stared over at me. He half pointed at me, and I wondered who the hell he is. I'm wondering, who the hell is this guy? Do I need to jump up and crack this guy, or is he going to be friendly? Well, it turned out he was friendly. He walked over, introduced himself, and said, "Name's Thomas. I cannot believe it's you." "Yes, it's me," I said. "I am real." He sat down and asked the usual questions, and we exchanged pleasantries. "Where are you from? Have you ever been to Thailand? What brings you here?" You know, small talk. Mr. Thomas, Kun Thomas, he hailed from Ireland, eh? He was 34 years old, and he came to visit his son. A few moments into our conversation, he blurted out, "I was a chowderhead." I'm going to say that's incorrect. Incorrect. Actually, if you listen to the Thai marriage sociological audio podcast, or whatever you want to call it, yesterday, you know that the average difference in age between Westerner and Thai woman is 15 years. Now, with my wife and I, we are 14 years apart. So pretty damn close. Anyway. Where am I here? A few minutes into our conversation, he blurted out, "I was a chowderhead," he said. "I used to be. But I learned." Seems Thomas had made a rookie mistake. He hooked up with a masseuse from Konkan, working in a soapy, and he had gone and fell in love. Big mistake. According to Thomas, after spending a week together, he popped the question. The question. "Porn, my love, my darling, I want you to be my wife. Will you?" And she went, "Oi." It took her a few minutes, but eventually she said yes. They thought theirs was a crazy, all-encompassing love, but the reality was that it was a crazy, all-encompassing lust. They quickly jumped on a bus and went to her village, where they were informally married. No sinsod necessary due to her occupation and 3 children from 3 different men. He was asked to set out 50,000 baht, so the village thought she had found a good farang. But he got it back the next day. Face, apparently, that's what they call it. In the midst of all their sex, he had failed to consider that she had 3 kids. He barely knew their names, much less knew them. But it would all work out. Love will find a way. He was sure of it. He stayed in Thailand for a couple of months before going home to Ireland. "Don't worry, I'll come back and bring you back to Ireland, my love. We shall be together again." He was unaware that he had already impregnated her, and in a little more than 9 months after he left, he would be back in Thailand for the birth of their first son, Killian. Oh my God. Let me see if I can find this. His name. Can't help it. His name was Killian Somchai O'Brien. Oh, chai yen. จริง
น้ำกัญชาไม่กินน้ำกัญชา
Let's see, where was I? Killian Somchai O'Brien. Oh my God. Fortunately, they had already started the visa process. First, he'd bring her over, and then he'd work on bringing over the kids. Now, Thomas, he seemed like a friendly lad. He did. Very friendly. Nice guy. Almost a little too nice, if there is such a thing. You got to remember this as men. Women pick up on male tenderness like sharks smell blood. And that's the truth. If you're a little too tender, then they take you for a mark. If you're not tender enough, then you're the bad guy, and they actually might like that. I am certain she picked up on his good nature. After all, I picked up on it. I'm sure she did. Got the power of perception, we'll say. So you have a son, I said. I have two. They're in university now. Ah, yes, I know, he said. So are you still with the mother? I asked, or what's the deal? Nope. It's been years. We spent the next 15 minutes or so discussing his situation. He had indeed been a chowderhead. Making a mistake is forgivable in my book, though. We all make mistakes, but the truth is some mistakes hurt much more than others, and some last longer than others. Another atypical boy meets girl in Bangkok story. Inexperienced boy, longing for the girl of his dreams, who doesn't, to become his wife. And he meets the girl on the game. She never asked for money, not a single satang. He was sure she was different. Anybody who said otherwise truly did not know her the way he did. She had informed him that she was only sidelining when he met her. She needed the money. She told him she thought him cute. Him eyes look very kind, so I'm think why not? I honey, I am lady and need man. Maybe I'm get lucky and him good man. That's how they think, I guess. In addition to her sidelining gang, she and her friend supposedly ran a clothing store. With 3 kids, she needed every satang she could get. Grandma, take care of my baby, always need money. Like many young women in Thailand, she scraped by. He never questioned her about it. Never went and saw her store. Why should he? He wasn't rich. He had only so much money to give, and he hadn't yet been struck by the luck of the Irish. So the last thing that he wanted to do was give a woman all his hard-earned money. Well, their relationship progressed, sort of. He sent money for a while. They did the long-distance relationship for a couple of years. It wasn't all that bad. He missed her in little Killian, but he... Oh my God. But he went back and forth every 6 months or so, and there was lots of, oh baby, I miss you so much sex. She had a big nut to cover every month and always needed money. There was never enough. He gave her as much as he could, around 30,000 baht a month, but it was never enough. When he was in Ireland, he called her every few days to see how she was doing, to see his son. Then one day she stopped answering. What is it? I can't read that. Then one day, she stopped answering his calls. Once in a while, she'd answer, usually when she needed money, but it was all as if she had given up hope. He promised her. He was working on the visa to get her to Ireland. She would just say, okay, I'm understand you. He took a flight back to Thailand and hightailed it up to Khon Kaen. She wasn't there. Wherever could she be? God, that is annoying. I want to close this door, man. She go working, her mother said. Where? I'm not sure. He called and called and called, and she never picked up. Finally, a few days before he was scheduled to fly home, she answered. I'm sorry, I need money. Okay, I'll give you some. He tried talking logically, telling her he was doing his best, and she should be patient. Tried to understand him. After all, didn't she love him? He wasn't made of money, but he could tell something was different now. She was much colder, much more distant. It was as if she did not care about him one bit. When it seems that way, they probably don't. She agreed to see him the day before he was set to go home. They had sex, and then they went out to a dirty little restaurant serving cuitillo in the middle of the city. He could barely contain himself. He was so happy. Finally, maybe they were finally making progress. They were in the middle of lunch when her phone rang. It was a man. He could hear this clearly, and he was speaking English. He said nothing. When she finished the call, she turned to him and admitted, "Him man, I'm see sometime. Him good man. He give me money all the time. I'm not one lie you anymore. I'm have many men. Some man have big money. I cannot stay with you. I very busy. I'm thinking you not understand me." Well, it's been 10 years apparently since they split up. He saw his son for the first 5 years of his life, and then all communication stopped. The mother felt that he no longer needed to see his son. No phone calls, no information from the family, no social media, nothing. Completely cut off from his son. This is another reason why shit gets serious real quick here. It's all fun and games. You're running out playing grab ass. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. I just want to bang you, honey. Come on, let's go home. Let's have wild, passionate, crazy, hedonistic sex. Yes, let's do it, baby. All night long. You know you lovely. I want baby from you. Oh, okay, no problem. I'm not use condom today. And then it happens, and it gets serious. So, he was back in Thailand when I saw him for another attempt at finding Killian. Now, he did know where he went to school, and he was able to go and see him at school. But only for a few minutes, and only once a trip. It infuriated his ex-wife. Infuriated her. She wanted him to have nothing to do. It was as if she wanted the son to forget he had a Western father. If you know anything about Thai women, some of them, well, I think all of them have the capability, but some of them are downright vicious. Far more vicious than most guys. Most guys have a heart. Some women don't have a heart. They don't care what your reason is. It's tough shit, buddy. Too bad. Now, the last thing you need if you're a tourist is to have serious troubles with a Thai female, or worse yet, females. The same thing goes with expats, which is why I say don't get seriously involved right away. Learn the ropes, spend some time. You might have been here traveling around, visiting, coming for 2-3 weeks at a time. Yeah. I've been here 4 or 5 times. I've had multiple women. I know all about Thailand. No, you don't know shit. You probably don't know shit. I guarantee you there are guys here who've come here 3 times. They don't know their ass from a hole in a wall. Start spending every day here. Start spending every day with that woman. You get to know the way of Thai women. You get to know that sometimes their smile is as phony as hell. It's as phony as a fake football shirt here in Thailand. So you need to choose wisely. When I first arrived and I was hanging out in the beer bars and pubs, I heard one thing over and over again, and that is that once they've been in the bar for 3 days, all the other girls in the bar, the mama-san or mama-sans, they've all got to her. They have altered her thinking. They have corrupted this sweet little farm girl, and now all she's thinking that a man is good for is money. The dick is much more secondary. Now, they may eventually decide that, they'll screw a guy for nothing, just because they think he handsome man or something, I don't know. But whatever her reasoning is. But once they've been on the game, and I just mean if they're around anybody that's on the game, eventually they will get turned, which is why I think that Pattaya, you need to really be careful. If you live in Pattaya and you want to hook up with a chick, you need to understand there's a damn good chance that all of her friends or some of her friends are working in a bar, and the way they think is if the guy doesn't pay money to be with them, then they don't want to be with the guy. And that is not how the majority of Thai women are. Yeah, you might have to pay your way or pay for her way sometimes, but, anyway, let me proceed here. Choose wisely. For the unexperienced guys out there, listen to your friends who know the Thai scene. As long as they are not chowderheads, consider what they have to say and listen. Every choice we make has consequences, and sometimes these consequences last forever. Truly, until death do us part. A choice without consequence can break up families, kill relationships, put you in the poorhouse, infect you with a deadly disease, among many other things. If you're lucky, a bad choice will only put you in a toxic relationship that you can get out of. I say only because at least there is a way out. Some Thai women, on the game or not, you got to keep an eye out for this as well. This is why I say choose carefully. They have serious gambling problems. They have drug problems. They have the problem with the yaba. They have the problem with alcohol. A lot of the bar girls, if they've been working in a bar for any length of time, a lot of them are alcoholics. It's rare where, if a girl's there and she wants to have she's a good time girl. She loves having a good time, that she's not drinking on a regular basis and drinking too much. Some will cheat on you and go to the highest bidder. They have no problem lying to your face. There's no honor, no integrity, none of that. You need to remember this, which is why you need to remember that the choice you make has a consequence. So force yourself to think with the big head and keep those consequences in mind. It's better to be alone and test the waters than to surround yourself with sharks, because you know what's going to happen. You make enough bad choices, you're going to get bit. It's going to happen. So you got to be smart. That's all. You need to be smart, and like I said, the one thing is you need to just remember that there are consequences to your actions. And I don't go around in life thinking to myself, there's going to be a consequence to my action. Well, I don't care if they understand me or not. What do they need to understand me for? They don't need to understand me. I mean, it's nice when they do, but they don't have to. I don't understand their humor. To me, I can't stand watching Thai TV because a lot of it, the slapstick stuff that they have is, first grade level, in my opinion. So, I hope you garnered a little bit of information out of those two stories. The first one it's so sad. And, at first I thought, oh, this guy's just whining, And then I thought, this guy doesn't know he doesn't have any clue how to control her, and he doesn't know how to let go. There's some things that, listen, if the guy's got cancer and he can barely clean up the house, and she is working her ass off to pay the bills to be able to pay for the insurance, there's only so much that you can do. There's only so much time in the day. So when she comes home, maybe you're gonna have to wake up when she comes home, give her a kiss, and say, baby, I miss you today. I'm so tired. I feel like shit, or I feel great today, or whatever it is. Go back to sleep. What are you gonna do? And I think inevitably, the choices that we make, obviously this is another one of those things, well, it's common sense. Make good choices. But when you come here, when a man comes here, a lot of the men who come here, they think one of the problems is that they think that for some reason the Thai girl working in a go-go bar or working in a soapy or whatever it is, in a brothel, oh, this girl is different from the kind of prostitutes back home. Yes, she's different, but same, but different. That's how Thailand works. She's same, but different. She's still, you know, she's still a prostitute. Would you get involved with a prostitute back home? She's walking the streets? I hope not. I hope, you know, aim higher, you know. Now, you know, I did, like I said, I admit, I embellished some of these a little bit. But it, you know, it goes, there's two things that I got out of this. You know, I've had long conversations with my wife about what's going to happen when I get older and she's going to have to take care of me. And she's like, I have to take care of you then. And she said, well, would you take care of me if something happened to me? I said, yeah, I would. You know, that's what you do for people that you love and you're married to, you know? So, buenas noches. You know, I don't know, you know, there's not much more to say. But I just, you know, it goes to show you that, hey, you hook up with some chick. I'm not saying that the first one especially, I'm not saying, oh, well, that's how it's always going to be. It really depends on the people. But there were red flags. There were red flags. Those red flags were apparent. Just like the guy who, a long time ago, I did a video about him. He said, I met this girl in a massage parlor. She was very nice. And, you know, thing is, you know, we were in a regular massage parlor, but, like, we had sex. She blew me. But now, you know, like, she's my girlfriend. And we're going to get married. This chick caused him so many freaking headaches. She was on the game. It was all a game. Oh, I never. No, only for you, honey. Yeah, because you're so freaking handsome. Come on. We're not all like Tom Brady. We're, you know. And I think, you know, it doesn't really even matter. Even he will have a hard time with some chicks. Because some chicks are just screwed up. Some dudes are screwed up. You know, just the way that the relationships work. But the fact that it was just sad because he's in a position where in order to get any care, she needed to work. And she's probably so damn tired. She just, I don't want to say this, but she probably was a little bit relieved when he passed away because what are you going to do with the guy? The guy, you know, he had I guess it was stage 4. You know he's going to pass away. And here she is busting her ass trying to keep a roof over their head. And he was, you know, in love with her. And then she was like, yeah, I love you, but, you know, hey, let's face the facts. If I don't work, you're not going to get any care because we're not going to be able to pay for the insurance. And you're going to be screwed. Now, I don't know all the specifics, but, you know, it was sad. And so, you know, it's just sometimes life is sad, you know. Now, with the other situation, it's sad, too, because a kid's involved. You know. Anytime a kid is involved or one of the people uses the kid as a pawn in their relationship, that's screwed up, you know. Gennaro, I don't think Preo would let you do one damn thing. She probably wouldn't even give you the time of day, and I hate to say that. But, you know, there are some Thai women out there that it doesn't matter, you're handsome, whatever. Maybe you're really handsome, they'll give you a smile. Maybe. if you're in the elite level of good looking, like you got model attributes, you know, maybe you'll be able to get in with her and, you know, get it in. Now, I'm not saying that's what she is. She's not, you know, a model or anything. But, you know, over the years I've talked to many girls, and they knew my situation, that I was married or that I had a girlfriend or whatever it was. So I wasn't asking because I wanted to get with them. They knew that. And many of them would say, I will never get involved with a foreigner. It's just not going to happen. Why not? Because I don't want to bring the foreigner home to my family. They would look at me and be like, what are you thinking? Yeah, I love the overconfidence. Key word being overconfidence. Anyway, you know, I don't know how many times I need to say it. Don't be a chowderhead. I hadn't used that word in quite some time. I hadn't heard that word until the other day when the guy brought it up and said, I used to be a chowderhead. I admit it. And it's good because the first time that I don't know. Let me see here. What is this? Yeah, you're not Mr. Right. You're Mr. Right now. Oh, God. I think that, you know, most guys have been a chowderhead at one point or another in their life, and then they learn. And if they don't learn, then they just continue to be, crappy with women. You know, just think about this. Because I remember something that happened to me many years ago. I was probably 24, something like that, maybe 22. I went into a bar. I see this girl. She's really good looking. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, baby. All right, I got to go after this. I walk up to her and I say, hello, how are you? Fine. What's your name? Why? Just make a conversation, honey. I just was, you know, wondering what your name is. You're a beautiful girl. I'd kind of like to know your name. Well, that's good. You don't need to know it. And I stood there and I was like, and then I thought, exit stage right, cue to leave. I didn't stand around there. I didn't want to go back and forth with her. I didn't give a shit. I mean, I did, because I was like, ooh, shot down hard. Ooh, you took the bullet right to the head. But when I walked away, I thought, ooh, God, man, I can't get away from that. I can't get away from her fast enough. Because if you just stood there, that would make you a chowderhead. You just stand there and go, well, honey, I'm just trying to be friendly. Can I buy you a drink? Come on, honey. Won't you talk to me? You know, wake up. If chick shoots you down, get the fuck out of Dodge. Leave. Don't give her the pleasure of having you around. I mean, you know, you got to turn it around. You got to think positively. She doesn't deserve for me to be standing next to her. Plan C, Therme. Oh, God. If they shoot you down at Therme, it's just, you know, who knows? I once had how shall I say, an acquaintance who I knew a lot of her friends. And I had been with some of her friends. And I kind of thought, oh, she's cute, you know. Maybe I can get with her. Why won't she be with me? Maybe we can, you know, maybe we can get together. She told me, all my friends been with you. I want to be the one who hasn't been. I don't want you knowing that you've been with everybody in my group. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then one night I saw her. And she was a little lonely. And I said, you want to go hang out? Let's go, come on. It was like after hours. Let's go to Denny's or something. I don't remember where the hell it was. This is many years ago. And she went with me. Next thing you know, it's like, I don't want to go home. Okay, you come with me. All right. You know, once I stopped trying, then it was like a little easier. Anyway, Plan C is the beer garden. As I've been told, now I haven't been there in quite a few years. The last time I went there, you know, I was just in the neighborhood and I thought, I wonder what this place is looking like now. And I went in and I went, rough. It's looking rough. And from what I've been told by a few people that have been there, it's, you used to have a lot of dragons there. And some guys would go in and they'd be willing to take the dragon. Once in a while, great while, you would have some, you know, fresh little farm girl that was in there bebopping around. Hello, sawadee-ka. And you'd be like, that's the one. But apparently that doesn't happen very often anymore. I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't really give a shit. It's, you know, that's a place in my past. You know, I mean, not the greatest place to go. You know, you could easily go somewhere. You'd be better off going to like a soapy if you want to get your weasel greased. The Dollhouse used to be in Clinton Plaza before it was Soy Cowboy. And I knew the owner. I didn't know him as well as my friend, but I knew him through my friend. He's dead now. Unfortunately. So, anyway, guys and girls, we're at about 90 minutes right now. Time flies when you're telling stories, tall tales. Hey, thank you, Vixter. Yeah. I mean, you know, it depends on what you want. You want your weasel greased, then you go and you just go to a place like that. If you want some kind of like pseudo relationship, okay, but don't get in over your head. Don't be going, oh baby, I love you. I never. You never so far. But if you kept going, you probably would. So it's not her. And you know, you really need to put it in perspective. You know, I'm a single, successful bachelor who, I'm a ticket guy at the movie theater, and she works in a pizza joint. Who's got more status? Why, me, of course. Oh, God. Thank you very much, John Fixter. Kinkos. Hey, you know, I haven't heard from Richard in a while. I'm wondering if he's up in the Bangkok. Not sure. He said he was gonna get in touch with me when he came back down, and we were gonna meet up. But all right, well, that's the way you do it, John. Just don't be falling in love. You know. She hits the spot. Thanks, Mr. Mitch. She hits that little spot that no one else has ever hit before. She puts a finger in a place that you never thought a finger could go, and you were like, you know what? I'm trying to stay off the sugar, man. My wife is gone right now. She's out of town. I'm trying to drop a few kilos, so when she comes back, she goes, holy shit, what happened? No sweet drinks, no, I haven't been eating any of their breads. I'm trying to keep the carbs low, that kind of stuff. They do have, let me just turn this around here. They do have some new drinks here. Listen, guys, I gotta tell you that right now, I just put up the first episode of this Thai lady, Western man series. It's a sociological study. And yesterday went up, it was about 15 minutes, and I'm not sure, there's going to be another maybe 8 or 10, 7 or 9 more episodes. Members only, baby. It's time I got to start giving the members a little something, something. You know. So you can hit the. I don't think, did I put it up? Yeah, I did. I don't think that. Yeah, I haven't put it up on Patreon yet. I will today. But if you hit the join button and you sign up, then you can get part of that series. I have some other stuff coming up. On Sunday, let's see, what's today? Friday? On Sunday, I have a video going up. It's about Thai rock and roll. It's 10 amazing Thai bands, rock and roll bands. Some of you may know some Thai rock, some may not. But I've got a playlist put together, and I think you'll, if you like rock and roll, you'll like this. For all you pop people who like pop, I do have another list. I just don't know when that's going to go up. But this Thai rock and roll will go up on Sunday, and then I think I stream on Wednesday, and then on Friday I have the video of a hotel right on the outside of Chinatown that'll be going up. So stay tuned. Hit the like button. Check the description. Do all that kind of stuff. Go to get your sweaty shirt. Go to my website, American in Bangkok, and AmericanInBangkok.com. Pick yourself up a shirt, a hat, a mug. It all helps. It all goes to the bottom line, which goes back into this channel. Anyway, I got a stuffy nose. Say goodbye to beer, and if she looks over here, I'll get her to say goodbye to you guys, but she probably won't. She's a busy woman. Anyway. Bye. Bye-bye. All right, so โชคดีแล้วเจอกันใหม่ yes โชคดีขอบคุณมากทุกคนสมการ what the hell was it สมการ can't remember now. I'm studying Thai, but I can't remember a lot of this stuff. My memory is just terrible. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. See you when I see you. Take care. Be good. Lots of people coming over here soon. Just talked to Chucky yesterday. He's over here in the first week of November. He's still bugging me to go to North Korea with him. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got. See you later.